Good, good news. Hi, Juliana. How's it going?
Hi, Pablo.
Yeah,
Good,
it's right.
thanks.
Uh,
So,
yeah,
where
I'm
are
here
you
in
right
Mercado
now?
24.
You're in the restaurant?
I'm just came from the market. Um, this is what I do every morning. I just wake up, uh, take a little time for myself, um, and try to do some exercise in the morning, and then I am going to the market to choose and to get every ingredient that we're gonna use in the for the day. So yeah,
How
So,
do you
no
call the market
mercado.
there? Plaza?
Yeah, yeah,
Just Mercado.
but
yeah,
but La Terminal, right?
yeah,
Like that's the main market,
yeah.
and
It's
it's like
like a
walking
4 or 5
distance from.
blocks away.
Yeah.
Depends how much how many ingredients I need to buy. I use my car, or I'm working to the market. Yeah, I prefer to walk, actually, but yeah.
Okay. So the restaurant's been open
Eh,
what, like 10 years
Almost
now?
10 years.
Almost 10 years.
In 6 months, we're
Wow.
getting uh, we're getting 10 years. To I never thought, when I opened Mercado 24, I never thought to list that much time. 10 years is a lot. Yeah,
No, like for any restaurant, like shit,
it's
like
almost impossible.
it's
Yeah,
almost impossible. So when the restaurant started, it had a
yeah.
different location,
We were
right?
right in front of this new location. We're here for 5 years now,
Oh, okay.
and yeah, we need in that time we need to move to a new place, because the old one was too tiny. So in that time, the we need to have more space, to do another kitchen, especially
Hmm.
um, for the kitchen. Uh, yeah, it was the main reason. Yeah,
Right. It was just a tiny kitchen. Yeah, you couldn't really do much, especially when you're breaking down whole fish.
yeah,
Getting
yeah,
lots of
so,
produce direct from the market. Yeah, it's not
yeah,
quite like just being delivered
yeah, yeah,
fillets and things like that. And but the concept of the restaurant was always just
yeah,
what's
yeah.
available
Actually,
at the market. So
yeah,
always changing every day the menu.
we don't really work on a seasonal ingredient, uh, but if we go to the market every morning, we get this the seasonal ingredients at the end. So, but or or you can listen to me. Yeah, yeah, we're okay. We're okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But our concept is it's to work with these market ingredients. Actually, we called Mercado 24. The name of the restaurant is Mercado 24 because there's 23 markets in Guatemala City, and we try to be the 24th one. So this is why we
Mhm.
call Mercado 24. And the restaurant, it's an uh, abstract abstract abstractation of a market. Uh, we do a sign on with a guy who's paint the chicken bus in Guatemala. Uh, as you see, we have these canastas behind me, um, who are the the lamps and everything. It's like a part, or it was a part of a market.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like even the
Yeah,
ceiling looks
yeah,
like
yeah,
Yeah.
I can see it like above you. It just looks like
yeah,
another like
yeah,
spot in the market, but with a kitchen.
yeah.
And
It's
it's still
still
the
open
open kitchen,
kitchen.
right?
We have a big bar in
Yeah,
front of the kitchen, and you can sit, yeah, and see us cooking.
right. And has I mean, I guess what's the big challenge of working with markets in
Yeah,
Guatemala
I
City?
mean it is because there's many factors. Um, for example, we are in the middle of the rainy season right now in Guatemala. Um, there's many problems with roads and everything's happening. Like if there's too much rain, some roads are closed, and some ingredients there's not possible to get the uh, to getting the ingredients because something's happening in the village or with the people, or yeah. uh, I mean it has their difficulties, but after after all, I love to work with the people in the market because I yeah, after these 10 years, I have some good relations with these people in the terminal. Yeah, actually, you can see. I tried. Sorry, I tried
Right.
to
So
post every morning one photo from La Terminal, from the ingredients of the things I see. I try to share with everyone this experience. You know.
so is quality sometimes an issue? Like I'm sure just it's one thing to have the product in a village or in the on the coast from a fisherman, but getting it to the city with the
Yeah.
traffic and as you said, like especially now the rainy season flooding, have things improved at all, or just are there's just challenges that are always
Yeah.
going to be around, or what?
I mean, we need to sometimes improve, uh, but as a story, the first thing that we bought when we start Mercado 24, it was a printer. So we print the menu every morning in a restaurant because the menu it depends on what we get uh, every day. So yeah, for us is, I mean, it's a kind of easy thing to do to improve with the ingredients that we get, you know, and yeah, yeah,
I mean, you have to have. I mean, over 10 years, you've had to have just encountered every challenge possible in. But I mean, you have to be very adaptable, right? Like, I mean, do you have at this point like you have like kind of a set menu, like where you're going to make a fish dish, but it might not be quite that fish that you're hoping for,
yeah,
and it's you're just going to have to adapt, or whatever vegetable or whatever, and it's just so I don't know. Do you have like lots of options and alternatives? Because I guess it has to be a pain in
yeah,
the ass, every day,
yeah. It
basically writing
is.
a new menu and having
Yeah,
inconsistent,
I mean, it's
ingredients.
it's a super huge challenge. as a team because, as you say, we need to sometimes we need to improve on how we do in the menu, but or we need to be always like with the eyes open to see what we can do with ingredients, and not always it's going in the right in the right yeah, in the right way. We can sometimes the results are not good as we want. Yeah, so
Yeah, and what about prices? If the
yeah,
if the best product available for the day is so
yeah.
how do you handle that?
This is like a super busy, like not it's not easy. Uh, it's not the easy things to do in the sense of prices and the numbers. We need to do
Mm.
like super huge job with this. Like we change not every morning, but we change a lot the prices because it fluctuates it looked a lot. The you can get an onion for a quetzal this morning, but tomorrow it can change like 2 quetzales an onion. So it changed a lot.
Mm. And what do you do when that happens? Like, let's say the onion. Do you don't
If
get it
it's
that
if it's
day, or you?
super necessary, I can buy it. But if it's not, I can change. I can adapt the menu on what we
Okay.
get. So yeah,
Yeah, so it's a balance between freshness,
yeah, yeah,
diversifying the
yeah,
menu, but
yeah.
also
It's a
obviously
balance. And
price.
I,
I
no, and actually
go ahead. Go ahead.
um, we work mostly with the people in the market, but we have just two direct suppliers. One of them is Samuel, which is a fisherman, and he's living in the Pacific Ocean. Um, he's working with a group of people who's who are fishermen, and he supply me directly the fish, and yeah, it give me the option to work with different kind of fish, not just sea bass or red snapper or the common fish that the people loves to work with. And the other one, it's Jose Yu, which it's a guy who's living in near to the border with Mexico, and he supplied me um, mushrooms in the rainy season. So yeah,
Sorry, my microphone was like lagging. But I remember going to the terminal with you
yeah,
and a few years ago, and we met with one of the fish vendors. What was his name? I can't remember, but I think at the time you were working on like kind of helping him, sell other species that kind of were not being sold in the market. Like I don't know what the situation is in Guatemala, but I assume there's probably just like two or three species that everyone gravitates to, and then everything else just doesn't even come to the market. It's just like they don't even bother trying to sell it.
yeah,
Is that still the case? Are people opening up their eyes to kind of
yeah.
other things, or it's still there's so much pressure on
Yeah, I
just a few
mean,
species.
people in Guatemala love to cook, as chefs and as a customers. People loves to eat lots of tuna and basically tuna, sea bass, and shrimp, and that's it. And we try to offer other
Yeah.
species, um, because I mean, the world needs not to explode just one species or two. We need to consume like another amount of species, not just fish, but vegetables and everything.
Hmm.
Super, yeah, super hard to try to propose another thing, especially now when you can see through your phone that everyone is it's cooking and eating tuna and two or three more species. So yeah, it's a hard thing to do, but uh, I think Mercado 24 has a strong voice in this sense, So our customers um looking for us, looking for these other proposals, you know.
Is there a specific reason why you started working
Yeah,
primarily with
yeah.
fish and fishermen? What
Um,
motivated you to do that?
because when I came to when I came back to Guatemala after 10 years living in Mexico and Europe, um, I start to my research on the ingredients, and I realized in that moment that the fish is one of the best ingredients that we have here in Guate. So I decide to work
Mhm.
with fish more than other proteins and vegetables. I love the vegetables from Guatemala. I I I I work the most with fish and vegetables, especially.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
When you say
amazing,
yeah,
one of the
amazing
best,
produce there.
yeah, when you
Mm.
say one of the best products to work with is like you literally went to taste them, see them, compare them with
yeah,
what you work with in Mexico and
yeah,
Europe,
yeah, yeah.
and you.
I been
Okay.
surprised. I remember that I've been surprised uh, for the quality of the fish you can get in the market. Like super nice, super nice, super high quality. Um, yeah,
Mhm.
I've been working in Ensenada in north of Mexico in Baja. So I think, as you know, for me
Mhm.
there's one of the best seafood and fish uh, quality in the world. Um, I recently been in Chile, and I saw many different species that I never saw before. But yeah, in Ensenada, I think I learned how to work with fish and seafood in Ensenada, and then I I went
Mhm.
to live in Italy, and I realized how um, they feel about their products, like in the sense of um, love of what they do. So when I came back, I have these ideas in my mind, and I start with the local products. This is how all the start. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Great.
So, did you always intend to come back?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, in that moment, to be honest, in that moment, I decide uh, and sent back to Guate just for 3 months. But when I realized uh, how many uh, how many ingredients we have here in Guate, um, and the quality of them, I decided to open a Mercado 24. And again, I never expect uh, an open a restaurant for 10 years. It's too much, but yeah, I've been in here in this industry, in especially in Guate. It's, I think Guatemala, it's a little bit different from US, for example, or from Colombia or another country, because we are like the second generation of chefs doing doing like a different thing, because before us, uh, just almost nothing's happening here in Guate. Just the restaurants are French or Italians, or yeah, and we doing. I mean, Deborah, Sergio, Diego, and many others. We're doing like Guatemalan based flavors, in our restaurants.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, there's a bunch of you now. Like, I mean, there's a whole scene, and it's not just limited to the city. It's in Antigua. It's other places
yeah,
too, and yeah,
yeah,
it's a pretty cool place to be right now, and especially with
yeah,
all these different ingredients that have kind of been
yeah.
overlooked in restaurants. Like they're still being used in communities, but kind of never really hit a kitchen before, and it's like one of these rare places like
Yeah.
Peru
Oh,
and Mexico
yeah.
that has such a depth
Mhm.
of like
Uh-huh.
history and agriculture and that. So it's, I don't know, it's a amazing place,
Yeah,
I think, to be. But I want to talk about you. You mentioned like you never expected the restaurant to stay open. And I'm curious about your thoughts on opening restaurants because I'm sure you thought the same way about Dora
yeah,
La Tostadora
yeah.
as well. You probably didn't
Yeah.
expect that to kind of like continue on like it did. Like when I first met you, like I went. This was
Yeah.
2018, I think, and I was in
Mm-hmm.
Guate for the first time in years, and I was just there like on a stopover going somewhere
Mm-hmm.
else, and for like 2 days, and like I met
Mm-hmm.
Diego Tellez from Flor de Lis, and like he took me to the like Doña Melo on the market
Mm-hmm.
aside of like going to Flor de Lis and things, and it was just kind of like trying everything
Yeah.
for a few days, and then we went to Dora, which I still think is like the best name of a restaurant in the history of Latin America, and and I remember like going there, and it was like it wasn't long after you opened, but it was just like an abandoned shoe store or
Yeah.
something like
Yes.
that. Like that was the location, and it was just like an abandoned shoe
Mm-hmm.
store that
Mm-hmm.
was hit by a hurricane or something, and like and left. But then you put a kitchen in there, like a small kitchen, just basic assembly things, I guess.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't, you didn't need much, and there were just a couple of seats on the sidewalk, and but the food was fucking absolutely amazing. These tostadas, Guatemalan tostadas, which are nothing really
Yeah.
like traditional Guatemalan tostadas, right? I mean, traditional Guatemalan tostadas are what? They're just like a little bit of
So
sauce
tomato
and
sauce
cheese,
and
or
cheese.
what?
There's two like a
Yeah,
famous, or like the most traditional ones. One of them is tomato sauce
yeah.
with a little bit of cheese on it, and the other one is black beans and basil. and that's it. So
Okay. Yeah. So like
Like bean
very
pan,
sorry,
comforting. What was that?
with a
black
little
beans
bit
with
of
what? Sorry.
parsley on it, like chopped parsley on it, and cheese.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, okay,
and
okay.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're still delicious, don't get me
Yeah,
wrong, but it's like
super simple.
it's something very simple, something somebody like in a on the
Yeah,
street can prepare in
yeah.
seconds and they
It's
cost almost
it's our
nothing. And
sorry, it's our
still
street food.
mm,
Yeah. Uh, in Guate, we have
yeah.
five meals during the day. Um of course, the breakfast, and then a little snack in like 10, 11 a.m. just before the lunch. And this snack, it's used to be a little tostada or tamale, or yeah, and that's it. And then the lunch, and then the snack in the evening, and then dinner. We used to eat a lot. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean that's 5 times a
yeah,
day. You're like hobbits or something,
yeah,
like that's
yeah,
like the uh, but yeah, so Dora had this very thrown together feel, but like it started like I think it was just a pop up, right? In at first, like it was when Mercado 24 was moving
yeah,
locations, and you just wanted to give the
yeah.
staff something to do,
Yeah, actually,
and
Dora started
mhm.
as a need, um because when we moved uh, from the to a new to this new place, uh, is still new for me because the other one, the old one, it's here in front of the new one. But yeah, we need to pay us. We need to earn some money. Uh, and a friend of mine give me this place, that it's the place where you been there like 5 years, 6 years by now. And yeah, it start with a little stove and a little counter and two tables. I think I remember that. And yeah, when we start, uh, before we open, there was three people waiting um for tostadas. So yeah, and then we need to move to another place for some reason, uh, inside of art gallery called La R. And now Dora is getting bigger, and we have another Dora in Zone 14, which is it's a like real restaurant, not a pop up, but a real one. You know?
Right,
Yeah,
right, yeah. You have like a formal location now, and it's like a
yeah.
full menu of things. So, are there two locations
Just one,
now, or just
just one.
one?
Yeah. We
Okay.
need to move
The,
because
mhm.
they start to build a super huge building right next to the old Dora. So we need to move to another place. So this is why we open this new location.
So, but going back to like the original, um, did you start doing tostadas just because it was something you could do with like not a lot of equipment, like you didn't need to set a lot up? I mean, was that the idea? Just because it's like you didn't really need a full kitchen to kind of do this and earn the money. It was just, you could do these things in the kind of anywhere. It's, it's also, another aspect of being adaptable. and working with what you have that maybe
Yeah,
carried over from Mercado
yeah. I mean,
24.
sorry.
In
Yeah, I mean,
No, go ahead.
this makes the tostada a super nice meal because you can eat the plate, which is the tostada, and you can put almost everything over it,
Mhm.
and almost everything is tasting good because the tostada has the crunchiness and the flavor, and it has the right size, and you can eat by your hand. So yeah, it's super nice meal. You can eat 2 or 3 tostadas, and that's enough for a meal. And yeah, I love the tostadas, of course.
Will you say at the beginning people were more hesitant to try, you know, different, more complex or different flavors? And do you see a difference between how people accept you putting things out of the box in a tostada than you offering different things in Mercado 24? Like people take it in a different way just because it's more
Yeah,
casual and
yeah.
or not?
Actually, I think people expect see different things in our menu, and like in Mercado 24 and Dora Tostadora. They want
Hmm.
something different. I mean I think they come to Mercado and Dora expecting different issues in the menu, yeah,
Hmm.
and I mean after 10 years, I think people expect that, and yeah, asking always the regular customers always asking me for different things. They want to, yeah, they want to try the different things, and I mean Mercado is a place to try like exotics ingredients, and yeah.
Hmm.
So who came up with the name for Dora?
Dora la wow. I mean, because Dora started as a pop-up, I never expect that it'll last too many years. Yeah, I remember I thought in a name like a super easy to remember. And in that time, Dora Tostadora, Dora la Exploradora, Dora the Explorer is in the TV, and then I had a little a little yeah I don't know how to say this in English. A little sobrina, yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, and I remember I saw Dora
Nice.
the Explorer in the TV, and I thought, I think Dora La Tostadora, because it's a tostaduria. It's a good name for a restaurant. And this is what, yeah, this is my
That's
name.
great.
Yeah, this,
Uh,
And Dora's Guatemalan, right? Or
and
is she
I
is it
and
is she
I
some
I
from some
realized,
anonymous?
like, time after the name, I realized that Dora the Explorer is from Guatemala. She's from Guatemala, actually. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
after
That's
You
what I
can you
thought.
can
after
Google
playing
it,
around
and
the
she's
name.
from Guatemala, actually.
Yeah. Okay, but it's also a weed reference, right?
They're
Because she's
toasted. Yeah, they're
toasted,
toasted. Yeah,
right? Okay, you told me that like the last time
yeah,
I saw you, I think, and which I thought was funny.
yeah.
Like three
and
different
Yeah.
reasons to be called that way.
yeah, yeah, it's such a perfect name. Like it's so many
Mhm.
levels.
Where
It
we
really
Yeah.
where we
resonates.
at the last time we see you, Nick? I think in El Salvador, right?
Well, I mean,
In Mérida,
I
yeah.
saw you in
Yeah, I
Merida
remember.
most
Yeah.
recently for the but I saw you in like you did a pop up
Ah, yeah.
with the
In
Choppy
Brooklyn.
Kitchen in New York, in Brooklyn once. But I also saw you in Guate the last time I was there, which
Yeah, yeah,
a few
yeah.
years ago.
Pablo, would you say there is something specific about like a flavor or the or even the way in which the tostadas are fried or the corn is processed? In the case of
Well,
Guatemaltecas, tostadas Guatemaltecas, like would you say there is something that
yeah.
distinguishes them?
Um, I mean, I will say the only thing we don't do in the restaurant is the tostada and the tortillas because in Guate,
Mm-hmm.
in
Mm-hmm.
every corner, you can buy tortillas. There's a lot of molinos, like corn
Yeah.
molinos, in almost every corner in the city, in the country. So why we we do a tortilla if we can buy a tortilla right here in this corner, and they are super nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and the yeah, answer your question. The difference between, for example, Mexico tortillas or tostada, there are more thick. The Mexicans are more Chinese,
Mm-hmm.
like yeah, like a teeny tortillas. So yeah, I think
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
this is the difference because we nixtamalize the corn, we ground the corn, yeah. But the
Just another
tortillas we
way.
made,
Yeah.
there's handmade tortillas, no machine made. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and yeah, in the sense of the flavors, everyone asked me what you do in Mercado 24, and always the answer is, of course, work with local ingredients, but the flavors we get in our menu is are the flavors from Guatemala because we are Guatemalans. We are in Guatemala, and we work with the ingredients from Guatemala. So the flavors we can get are the flavors from Guate. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, so now what's Dora like? You have like a bigger menu. What
Yeah,
else is
the
on it
menu is
other
still
than
based
tostadas?
on the tostadas, and I did the same tostadas, but in a tortilla, and we call it aguadas, which mean soft, so yeah, soft. And we have 8 tostadas, 5 aguadas, and 3 main dishes, like big dishes, because yeah, because it's Dora is bigger now, so we need to propose another like main dishes, you know. And the tostada, the
Hmm.
people coming to Dora um, to eat 2 or 3 tostadas as entrées and one main dish. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Um, Changing subjects a little bit.
Yeah,
You worked at
I've been
Noma,
working
Mexico,
there.
right?
Super nice experience. Super nice experience.
So did you close Mercado 24 when you were doing that, or just
No,
everybody else took
Mercado
over?
24 was still opening when I was there for, I've been there for 3 months, I think. Yeah,
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. All right. Yeah. What was that experience like? Like, how did
super
you get
nice.
involved, and like,
Super nice because
how was it?
um,
Yeah.
I grew up with all these ingredients. Um and when I was there, I realized on how they see the same ingredients that I grow with. Um, they work so much different with the same zapote or the same lime or the same fish that I saw from my childhood. Um, and yeah, that's super crazy because how I can see this ingredient in that way, and how you can get the flavors, the different flavors from the same ingredients. And yeah, super crazy. I mean, people from Europe, from Copenhagen, coming to Mexico and work, and they start to work with these amazing ingredients, and they did this super nice menu based on the ingredients that I saw from, yeah, from I was a child, super, super crazy. Yeah.
Can you give us
Yeah,
a
for
couple of
example,
examples
I remember
of
this
that?
dish, these little bananas. They roast the they roast the skin the bananas over the charcoal, and they did this oil made of roast banana skin. And they just put the bananas in a plate and a little bit of this oil, and it tastes super nice and super differently. And for me, it was like, whoa, this is super crazy. But everything was, I mean, in in my childhood, um, I I can't, I just go to the patio from my father's house, and I just took a, I don't know, a lime or everything, you know, and they work with these ingredients, and yeah, and they getting super different flavors from the same ingredients. Super crazy.
Hmm,
So
nice.
after, like, so you've worked in, all these high level kitchens, like Noma, in
Mm-hmm.
Ensenada, where was it?
Manzanilla, yeah.
Manzanillo, yeah, and yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
plus like in fine dining places in Europe, but your restaurants have never been about, like,
No,
fine dining, really. I mean,
yeah,
it's definitely elevated or whatever you want to call it, but it's
no,
never been about having a tasting menu. It's never been about, all these, awards and rankings and things like that. I mean, why have you always wanted it to be more accessible? I guess. Like, I mean, you definitely have the skill, and it's like you see it even in,
mm-hmm.
the Dora La Tostadora. You see how, these beautiful tostadas. I mean, they could be on the menu of Noma, Mexico. I'm sure. One of those. There's a few things that taste
Yeah.
that delicious to me. but you've never wanted to do that. You've always kind of refrained and like doing this thing that's connects more with every person in Guate rather than
yeah,
just attracting tourists.
because I believe, uh, I mean, as a human beings, we need to breathe and we need to eat to stay alive, you know? So I believe that the food needs to be more, more like we need to have more access to the food. And if you do like this fine dining stuff, it, it goes away from these beliefs, you know. Yeah, I think the food we need to get the access to the food. So yeah,
Like you've been so it's important to you to like
yeah,
I think what you're trying to say is like since you opened it's been about showing what Guatemalan food can be, like another aspect of it. But it just to do that and to really have an impact, it can't just be for rich people eating
yeah,
a tasting menu. Not that that can't have an impact either, but I think if you really want to transform a food system, you have to look beyond that as well.
yeah.
Is
No,
that is
yeah,
that
yeah. It is,
kind of on this?
and this is why
What?
I
Yeah,
do what I do. Um, I try to spend my money direct from direct to the people who grows the food, or um, or the vendor from from the terminal, because if I go to the supermarket, my money goes to I don't know where, you know. So I can,
yeah.
yeah.
Some middleman
So
somewhere.
I can,
Hmm.
I try to be more um, like to give more access to this money, you know.
Hmm.
Um, I saw children growing in the terminal, and I saw people goes to the university thanks to I don't know if thanks to my money, but it helps. I'm pretty sure that it helps.
Right. Okay. So
Yeah,
so yeah.
yeah,
Over 10 years, yeah. I mean, you have to think over 10 years. Serving food like that, kind of more
yeah,
volume than a fine dining restaurant. You can buy
yeah,
a certain amount of fish and vegetables and not just 5 grams
yeah.
of flour or whatever. I don't know. And yeah, you can. I'm sure you can see that impact a little bit. I mean, not to say
Mhm.
it's all to you, of course, or to your restaurants, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that has to be
yeah,
gratifying. I imagine to see a little girl that was
yeah,
probably sitting in the market all day
Mm.
long,
yeah, yeah.
going to university. Just having that kind of pathway to something else, and maybe she'll come back and work at that market again and be
Yeah, I mean,
the voice of
yeah, I
you know
mean,
something
I think
important.
everyone needs to do their part, and as a chef, I try to do mine. You know, to spend my money like with a little bit more consciente. You know, and yeah, and yeah,
Hmm.
I try to do my part from my job, and yeah, I think everyone needs to be more uh, conscientious. I don't know how to say this in English, but yeah, yeah, conscious, yeah,
Yeah,
conscious, yeah,
conscious. Yeah,
yeah,
conscious, aware, whatever. Yeah.
yeah.
And how did
Why?
you do
Yeah.
you? Mhm.
Go ahead.
No,
Go
go
ahead,
ahead,
Joel.
Lee.
No,
No,
I
no,
was
no.
just gonna say why. Why is it important? Like, why not just just start a chain of Dora La Tostadoras and put them in every mall in Guate, make a ton of
Mm.
money, and it could be the next
No, because
McDonald's.
uh, yeah, I don't. I
You could be rich, man. You could have that big house on the coast and drive a
wow.
Ferrari and have a helicopter to fly
Too
into.
kind to see you in New York.
Yeah, like I could see it. Like everybody loves Dora. Like why not? Yeah,
No, no,
why not do
because
that?
I mean, maybe if it helps to the society to get a better uh, people and a better future, maybe it will be great. But it's not. I mean, I'm do what I do because I want a better society at the end. And yeah,
Mhm. I mean, things are still pretty rough in Guate. Like I know we're talking about like nice
yeah,
restaurants and ingredients and everything, but still things are pretty messy, right? Like
super tough.
politically,
Yeah,
economically, like it's still people like migration and
yeah, yeah,
and like
the,
narcos and all kinds of
yeah,
shit. Like it's still
yeah. There's
pretty fucked up.
like a yeah, 1,000 people every day who wants to go to US to looking
Uh-huh.
for better opportunities. And if we can do a little change, I can do it. Yeah, I love I would love to do that. Yeah, why not? I'm living here in Guatemala, and I see every day what's happening here with the people, and I I cannot be that kind of person uh, that see the wrong things in the society and not to allow to be something different, you know?
Hmm. But now there's, as I was saying, like there's a lot of you guys thinking this way. This is 10 years later, and there's got to be at least
Yeah,
30 restaurants or
yeah,
something. I don't know, maybe more that are kind of making these connections with the producers and the markets and I mean is that spreading, do you think? Do you think it's like rubbing off? Do you see like this impact kind of growing? Is it giving people hope, or have you seen like a story of somebody saying, okay, maybe not just
yeah,
run away to the US,
yeah. And
maybe there's something
as a
here.
leaders, uh, we need to spread the the the, the good things because we we can do it. We can do this here in Guate. Why you can't not do the right thing? Everyone, I think uh, everyone can do it, but I I I realize and I be there like it's super hard to do something different here in Guate. And maybe in the US it's more easy. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
No, I don't know. I think everywhere it's hard to change like the systems that have been built over, decades of, especially by, like giant corporations that are just giving us cheaper but, devastating foods on a, health and environmental level. And I don't know, I think it's hard to break out of that and, asking maybe somebody to pay a little bit more for something that's more
Mhm.
responsible.
Yeah, to make
I
a
mean,
difference.
I think it's hard everywhere,
Mhm.
especially in
Mhm.
Guate, in a place like Guatemala.
Yeah,
But yeah, and it takes people to kind of
yeah,
do make a little more effort. Like, I mean,
yeah,
you don't have to be
yeah,
going to the market every day. You're choosing to because you you see how it can improve lives and it can
yeah.
give you
But
better food as well.
I believe in a
I guess. Yeah.
in I can change in I can do a change going to the market every morning for 10 years now. I I really believe that. So
Hmm.
yeah. After all, I still doing it. I'm still doing that because I believe this. I believe in a change. But
Yeah. I mean, what time do you wake up?
6:30 in the morning, not that too early. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not
yeah,
that
yeah,
late either. You're not sleeping in, but yeah, I mean that has to be exhausting, a 10-year period, but
yeah,
waking up
yeah.
kind of early, like, yeah. But I mean that's a commitment. Mm.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, Pablo, how do you distribute your time, every day or between these two restaurants, Dora and Mercado? And also, if you, as part of your routine, you get to interact with producers or vendors every day, right? If you get to talk or share a bit more than, talking about the product and the price and give me this, if in that interaction something else happens, given
Yeah,
that you do it, in
yeah.
this
I
level
mean,
of commitment.
in early in the morning, I try to give a time to myself and then to go to the Guatemala. Super important.
Important.
Doing some yoga, meditation, or exercise. Then
Yeah.
going to the market. Then I come back to the Mercado 24 to see what's happening and to doing some prep or yeah whatever I have to do. Then for lunch service, I'm going to Dora La Tostadora till 4 or 5 p.m. And then for the dinner service, I'm here in Mercado. Yeah, I finish my day at 10 p.m. Yeah, that's it. I take my day off on Sunday. Yeah, that's it. And as we were talking, I've been traveling a lot to Latin America this year, like a lot, a lot, a lot. I've been in Colombia, in Chile, in Argentina, in Uruguay, in everywhere in Latin America. In Ecuador, I've been cooking in Huema with Chamor Rompia. Um, Seeing what's happening there in South America, especially, and yeah, realize how much we are uh, the same in a sense, we we speak in the same language, we suffering the same problems politically and socially and everything. It's super crazy, super crazy. I really in love with this continent. which is super nice. Yeah, and because I'm been cooking in some different and in lots of different places, I try to share the Guatemalan flavors through the chilies, especially, and the spices. Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah,
travel with
yeah.
those,
Spices and
you mean
chilies,
spices?
and of course the tostadas. Yeah,
Yeah. Is that your like go? Is that your go-to like move like
yeah,
to make tostadas
yeah,
wherever you go?
yeah, yeah.
Like,
Uh,
it, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
No, it makes
when you
sense. It's
see
fucking awesome.
when you see
So,
me
yeah.
in
Yeah.
some airport, you can see me with a box of tostadas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Um, what else is going on in Guatemala now? Like, are there any other restaurants that have opened or
yeah.
places you've been that I don't know really
There's many.
excite you?
Uh, I mean, I think the next generation is coming. They are start they start to open their own restaurants. Um, Three of them are Chichi, which is super new restaurant. It is like a month. It has like a month. The other one is Chichi.
It's called
Chichi.
Chi
Yeah.
Chi. You say Chi Chi,
Yeah. Chichi.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
Chi. Okay. It's funny. Like that's
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
one of my cat's
wow.
names, but it was also but it was also this
Oh,
terrible
whoa.
Mexican restaurant growing up.
Okay.
Like I grew up in Ohio, and
Yeah.
like there weren't real Mexican restaurants. It was just like these weird like Mexican
Yeah.
restaurant, like kind of Tex-Mex
Oh, well.
places created by white people
Yeah.
that
Okay.
were just like
Wow.
really bad. And there was one named
Yeah.
Chi Chi's. But
Yeah.
okay, but
Yeah.
I have more faith
Um,
in the one in
in
Guatemala.
this
Yeah,
one.
uh,
what is that one?
Actually, Chichi is from a guy who was the first chef from Dora La Tostadora. He's yeah. Um,
Okay,
his name is Chiri Galindo. Yeah, it looks actually. I'm to
okay,
be honest, I never been there, but it looks super nice. Yeah, yeah. I have to be there like in the next week, maybe. I don't know. The other one is Nani. It's in Antigua, from Fer Solis, and the other one is
hmm,
Gambaru, which another guy who was the another chef from Dora La Tostadora, called Juan Jose del Valle. Um, he's doing a mix between Japanese and Guatemalan flavors. Super nice. And yeah, the cocktails
okay,
and bars movement now in Guatemala is growing. So yeah, let's see what's happening in the next months. But it looks nice. Yeah.
cool. How's
Ah, wow. The
El
pattern
Paradon
is
right now?
yeah, super like the super fashion place to be. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. So I went there. I came back. Like the last time I saw you in Guate, I came back like a few months later
Okay.
because with my like wife and kids, and we went to just because we couldn't find a place to go,
Mm-hmm.
and there were really cheap tickets to Guatemala. And I asked
Mm-hmm.
everyone like, what's a beach I should go,
Yeah,
and they said El Paradon, and we went there, and it was this super cool beach. There wasn't really anywhere to eat at the time. This was you know,
yeah,
uh, like 3 years ago, I guess. Like that was the only issue. I mean, the restaurants were kind of shitty, and it's like the
yeah,
first part of the week, nothing was open either. But it was an awesome place, and I could see things opening there and it kind of taking on a
Yeah,
new
I
culinary
mean, from
life.
3 years now, I think the paredon it grows like a lot. There's many projects and restaurants
Okay.
and bars and cafes. Um, I mean, uh, 3 years ago, Paredon was still like a little village, So, but it grows. Yeah, it grows a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah,
All right. Cool. Now, my kids, it's like their favorite place ever. They just
yeah,
like my daughter
yeah,
couldn't even say like Guatemala at the
yeah,
time. She would just call it
yeah,
guacamole.
yeah, yeah.
Guacamole. Yeah. Like, but it's like they just have uh like they just love like whenever
Yeah,
we say like where do you want to go for vacation? Not that they really have
yeah,
much of a choice, but like it's
yeah.
Guatemala
Great,
always. Like
great,
that's their favorite
great. And
place.
the yeah,
Just
and the
it's fun,
beaches
yeah.
in the Paredon are super exotic, right? Because they have these
Yeah.
black sand beaches. Yeah,
Yeah. No, super cool. It was insanely hot when we were
it
there.
is.
Like, I mean, and it was because the rest of the coast has like a
Uh
really
huh.
strong undertow. So that was like the one place that's kind of like around the corner or whatever. I forget how the map is shaped, but there's not so much undertow. So it was pretty
Yeah,
nice, and the kids could swim. Waves were pretty
yeah.
hard,
The
but it was
waves are
it was still
pretty
nice.
hard. It's they are good for surfing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Paredon it's super super nice place. Yeah, I mean the Paredon, Antigua, and Lake Atitlan. There are like three places that more um, uh, people want to visit when they visit to Guate. Mhm.
Hmm. How's the
Wow, the Caribbean
Caribbean
side,
side?
it's super nice, super nice. I love there, but it's like 10 hours away from the city, 10 hours drive. So yeah, it's not. And the Paragon is like 2 hours drive.
Yeah, yeah. 2 hours, is that it? I felt like we were
Yeah,
maybe we left on like the bad
yeah,
traffic or something, but I feel like it was longer.
yeah. I
That's it,
think
2 hours? That's not bad.
So where is the fish that you
Pacific
buy coming from, mainly?
Pacific Ocean. Yeah, mainly because
Oh, okay.
I bought sometimes fish from the Caribbean. We
Mm-hmm.
we uh, we we referred to the Caribbean as Atlantic. I don't know why. Everyone say it's from Atlantic, but we don't really have Atlantic. We have Caribbean Ocean. Yeah. Hmm.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, same, right? Just that
Yeah.
gets a different name
Yeah,
there.
I mean it's all the
Yeah. Just
same
water.
technically,
Yeah,
it's just water.
Yeah.
It all moves around.
it's just water. Just water.
um yeah, I mean Julie,
Yeah.
are there any other questions that you want to ask?
Um, no, no. I mean,
Okay.
well,
Yeah.
first I want to try those
Yeah. You have
tostadas
to.
one day. And yeah, yeah. And no, I mean the I think the interaction Pablo has with producers and vendors is really interesting and meaningful. And yeah, I mean I'm just I want to watch that too. I'm curious about that. So that's great. And it's great that you believe in this and are
Yeah.
doing it with
Yeah.
discipline, right? Because it
Yeah.
requires
Yeah.
consistency.
I think more.
Consistency.
Yeah. Discipline. It's one thing that everyone need to have to earn something in life. But yeah, the constancy is yeah. Even if I had a long night for a reason, I have to wake early to go to the terminal, yeah, and start my
Yeah.
journey. You know, yeah, you have to come to Guate. Yeah. Let me
Yeah, I
know
love to.
when you
I
want.
love to.
Yeah, let's plan something here.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
All
for sure.
right, man. Yeah, good talking to you. Thanks for hanging out,
yeah. Thank
and
you,
Yeah,
see you
and
soon.
thank you so
yeah,
much.
it's an honor to be to me to be a part of your podcast. Finally, yeah. See you.
Thanks, man.
Bye.
See you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, wait. Hold up.